Tesla will be the largest and most profitable company in the world. November 18, 2022. Ron Barron's Barron Capital held its first annual gathering since 2019 earlier this month. Featuring an interview with Tesla CEO Elon Musk in front of 5,000 investors at the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City. The interview comes during a tough year for the stock market at large. But instead of focusing on the present, Barron focused on where Tesla was headed. And is bullish on the automaker. To say the least, Barron said he thinks Tesla could become the most profitable and largest company in the world in a decade. As stated during a pre-event interview with Forbes, Tesla's shares are down around 50% since the beginning of the year. But the automaker also makes up about 45% of one of Barron's largest funds. And he doesn't seem concerned. In 10 years, Tesla will be the largest and most profitable company in the world. Barron said in the interview. Barron Capital has 19 funds totaling around $40 billion in assets, many of which have big investments in Tesla. The Barron Partners Fund is $6 billion into the automaker, while the Barron Focused Growth Fund has around $700 million of Tesla's shares in its portfolio. The two funds are down around 31% and 23% in 2022, respectively, but they still have high longer-term gains, as pointed out by Barron. Additionally, the Barron Partners Fund has returned over 25% of an average net annualized return in the past 5 years, and Barron seems to see Tesla's lower stock price as an opportunity, rather than a deterrent. Barron is also no stranger to bear markets, having founded the firm 4 decades ago. On the S&P 500 index's roughly 21% drop, Barron noted big opportunities for buying low. A year ago, nothing was cheap. Now it's the opposite. Barron said, stocks are dirt cheap on an absolute basis. Filings show that Barron Capital is one of Tesla's top 20 shareholders, with 11% of its portfolio dedicated to the stock. Comparatively, most other funds top out around 5 or 6% allocated for Tesla. Although Barron acknowledged this year as a rough year for his funds and Tesla, he also called it relative, commenting that because of our low turnover and great long-term record, investors are willing to cut us some slack and be patient. Source reposted and summarized from Peter McGuthrie at EVANNEX. My take: Tesla will eventually become CHOAM. Ford must copy Tesla to succeed. November 18, 2022. Ford must copy Tesla to succeed, according to CEO Jim Farley. This means vertical integration and large-scale manufacturing. Ford must copy Tesla in order to succeed as a company and to make electric vehicles at scale. Ford has just said that making EVs takes 40% less labor. This, unfortunately, means that less staff will be required to make Ford's EVs. Hopefully those people can find other roles in technology, batteries, and other areas. Ford has also said that vertical integration is also the key to making EVs and to make them at a profit. One thing we know about Tesla is that they are heavily vertically integrated. If any other legacy automakers were making EVs at a profit besides Porsche, we would be hearing about it. But we are not hearing about it. The future is vertical integration, and this is something that isn't easy. Ford just disclosed the fact that they need new supply chains and new factories. The biggest part of Jim Farley's plan is to build 2 million vehicles by the end of 2026. This will include the F-150 all-electric pickup truck. This will require around $50 billion. Ford and GM have their work cut out for them, and it is going to take a lot of construction time, automation, and money in order to be ready to compete in the EV space. Vertical integration is one of the key pieces needed. Jim Farley has also said that EVs have about 40% fewer parts than an internal combustion engine vehicle. You will save money making an EV and owning one over time. This is the second inning of a 9-inning game. According to Jim Farley, it say that the innings started in about 2010. This is when BYD and Tesla got started. I think we are closer to the 4th inning of the game, and by the time 2030 rolls around, we will be in the 8th inning of the game. Ford is reverting back to its business model from 100 years ago. Ford has outsourced a lot of its internal combustion engine work. Ford is going to go back to its roots. Ford also welcomes a union of workers in its plants in the United States. 2030 seems to be the magic year for EVs. Any automakers who have not made the transition to electric vehicles by then will likely be bankrupt. Ford wants to be number one in EVs and doesn't like being second to Tesla. If Ford produces 2 million cars in 2026, that is good, but it should be higher than this. In 2026, Tesla will most likely be making around 5 to 6 million vehicles. 2 to 3 times more than Ford. For Ford to get to 2 million vehicles though, it's going to be tough. It will take Tesla until the end of this year to hit a 2 million run rate, and Tesla has been making EVs since 2010. It'll be interesting to see if Ford can do it. What do you think about Ford copying Tesla? Will they succeed in the EV transition? Source reposted and summarized from Jeremy Johnson at Talk News. My take: they say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery that mediocrity can pay to greatness. General Motors has a growing Tesla repair business. November 18, 2022. General Motors, GM, has started to repair Tesla vehicles at its dealerships, making it a growing new business for the legacy automaker. That's a growing business for us. I gotta say it's a new business, said GM President Mark Roos during the automaker's Investor Day 2022. So far, GM dealers have fixed more than 11,000 Tesla vehicles. General Motors calculated that every American lives at least 10 miles from one of its dealerships, making it a convenient place to reach when customers need to repair their cars, electric or otherwise. Tesla does not have dealerships since it has a direct-to-consumer sales model. However, the EV manufacturer has multi-purpose Tesla centers that handle sales, service, and deliveries. It also has Tesla Mobile Service, enabling owners to get their cars repaired anywhere. As a long-established automaker, General Motors has an extensive network of dealerships that offer repair services. Tesla has grown exponentially in the last few years in production and sales. With its growing fleet, though, Tesla needs to develop its customer care services. The Texas-based EV automaker is working hard to deliver good repair services to its customers by building more supporting infrastructure for its growing fleet and customer base. For instance, Tesla has started ramping up construction on Supercharger stations worldwide and building more multi-purpose centers with service facilities. Elon Musk admitted that Tesla needs to improve its service facilities. In September, Musk noted that he is spending a lot of personal time developing Tesla service. Source reposted and summarized from Maria Morano at Tesla RT. My take: you won't hear this often. This is a smart move from GM. Tesla opens Supercharger network to non-Tesla EVs in Italy. November 18, 2022. Tesla has officially launched its pilot program for non-Tesla electric vehicles to use its Supercharger network in Italy. Since launching the pilot program for non-Tesla EVs in November 2021, Tesla has expanded the initiative to 15 European countries. The pilot program allows owners of non-Tesla EVs to plug in at any of the company's supercharging sites, which offer charging rates between 150 and 250 kilowatts. It is a test program that is being used to assess the use of superchargers by non-Tesla drivers. Tesla expanded the program to include Italy on Wednesday. The pilot program is now in 15 countries in total: France, the Netherlands, Norway, UK, Spain, Sweden, Belgium, Austria, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Luxembourg, Switzerland, Iceland, Italy. There are various locations Tesla is opening its superchargers to non-Tesla drivers in Italy. While the specific locations are not explicitly listed by Tesla, the company does have its supercharger map available on its website, which will include a message below for qualifying locations. This supercharger is open to Tesla vehicles and non-Tesla vehicles with CCS compatibility. Tesla has considered expanding this program to other continents for some time. While the United States EV charging infrastructure is vast, yet somehow insufficient for current EV volumes, Tesla could be developing supercharger equipment for other EVs, with the opening of its EV charging design this week after calls for the US to adopt the company's configuration. Tesla is certainly thinking about expanding the program to the US. However, future supercharger availability is becoming a concern for some owners. Nevertheless, Tesla's robust supercharging network is a widespread advantage for Tesla owners. Now it could be an advantage for anyone owning an EV in Italy with the program's expansion. Source reposted and summarized from Joey Klender at Tesla RT. My take: using the money generated from this to build even more superchargers is genius.